Before I start the video, I'd just like to say that this is for a laughing matter, and I do not condone the use of non-medical marijuana. Let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the greatest day of the year, April 20th, also known as 420 Day, 420 Blaze It, the weed day, the marijuana day, whatever you want to call it. So today we are on Madden. Last year I did it on 2K, and this idea took me probably about 45 minutes to come up with, so I hope you guys like it. We are going to be doing a fantasy draft of weed smokers. Pretty simple. I kind of wish I chose the Broncos or the Seahawks because it's legal in those places, but we're choosing the Giants because Dave Gettleman is always high when he makes general managing decisions. He's probably going to pick Daniel Jones at 6 and Will Grier at 17. Mark my words. So in round 1, I figure it's only fitting that we go with the man who quit the NFL just to smoke some weed. Formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, it's none other than David Irving. This man had a bright future in football, but he decided to retire just so he could smoke all the weed he wanted to. Quentin Nelson of the Lions, I don't hate that one bit. So we're going to select Antonio Brown. And that's because ever since the end of the year, I feel like this man has been high. He has been a madman on social media, whether it's requesting trades, making beef with other players like Juju Smith-Schuster. This man has probably smoked a ton of weed since the end of the season, and he is on the weed-smoking squad. Now in the third round, you can't be talking about football players who smoke weed without talking about Josh Gordon. And then Martavis Bryant will also be added to the team. So they got 3 super smoking level wide receivers. Now in round 5, I'm going Whitney Mercilus. Not really known as a weed smoker, but the reason why I'm choosing him is because his parents named him Whitney. Like, what a tough football name. They could have been high during that. He also could have been high when he chose his college, because why would you want to go to Illinois? Alright, so on to round number 6. Stop flexing, Whitney Mercilus. You're not cool. We're going with Marcus Williams because this man had the easiest tackle ever in the playoffs. Of course, he missed it. Stephon Diggs got the touchdown. That's the Minnesota Miracle. That man was probably high during it because he had no clue what was going on. Or he might have been high afterwards to avenge the mental pain. Round 7, we need a quarterback, so it's going to be Chad Kelly, former Mr. Irrelevant, because this man got cut from the Broncos for, I think it was smoking alcohol, but did I just say smoking alcohol? I meant drinking alcohol, but obviously there could have been weed involved. And to prove that we are high, we got to get ourselves another quarterback in the next round, Nathan Peterman. Not saying that he smokes weed, but pretty much anyone who thinks he's a bad player, and I guess the Bills front office for cutting him, this is literally the greatest quarterback in NFL history, and you will see that later in the video. I don't know why he doesn't have a job right now. I don't get it, but he got robbed from the MVP this year. He got robbed. Round 9, Leonard Fournette. He's gotten in some trouble. I know he got arrested for a suspended license, so who knows? Maybe there could be some, I'm not going to say drinking and driving. I guess smoking and driving. Now, round 10, we got John Ross, and this is because John Ross, he's probably not the fastest player in the league, and he could have gotten a little bit high, gotten a little bit extra rowdy before his 40-yard dash time, and yeah, I was desperate, so that's why we're going with him. I was trying to stretch ideas. So on to round number 11, we're going with Martinez Rankin. Sort of a strange pick, but if you wanted to name him Martinez, why would you spell it like that? So you're probably not going for the regular Martinez, so I assumed that his parents were trying to think of the drink, martinis. So why wouldn't you name him Martinis? I guess maybe so he doesn't get made fun of, but still, his parents could have been high when they made his name. There's a pretty decent shot of that. Round 12, Corey Graham, simply because he looks like a stoner in that picture. He looks like he was high when that picture was taken. Round 13, we need a punter. So Cameron Johnston, we're going with him because his barber was clearly smoking weed before his haircut. That hairline makes him look like he's about 55 years old. So welcome to the team, Mr. Johnston. And your last name has a T in it, so I guess the last name Johnson is smoking weed, and they decided to add a T into it. Once again am stretching ideas. Round 14, the number 69 player available, Tahir Whitehead. Simply because, do you see his head? There is something on it, and it's clearly not white. And I guess Tahir Whitehead was pretty cool when he was on the Lions. So, welcome to the squad, Mr. Whitehead. You are now labeled as a weed smoker. Round 15, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, because he is a doctor. Shout out to him for becoming one, but like, the only reason why you would need one as a football player is to develop or to figure out the injuries on the field. So if he's doing that, then I guess the Chiefs medical staff can have much easier lives and still get their same salary. So welcome to the team, Dr. Duvernay-Tardif. Round 16, Glenn Gronkowski. Pretty much the same reason as Cameron Johnston, because his barber was clearly high cutting his hair. Glenn Gronkowski looks like he's about 50 years old in that picture. And he's related to Rob Gronkowski, so I guess that's fun. I don't know. Round number 17, we're going Vontae Davis. This man retired during halftime. And the only logical person who would retire during halftime is a person who is high on weed. I don't think any person who is not under the influence of anything would actually retire during halftime. So for that, you're a weed smoker. Round 18, the technically rookie, technically entering his second year now, Duke Ejiofor. And the reason why I'm doing this is because his name is Duke, but he went to Wake Forest. Like, wrong ACC school, buddy. If your name is Duke, you gotta go to Duke. So that doesn't really make sense. You're labeled as a weed smoker. On to round number 19, Philip Wheeler. He looks like he's wheeling and dealing, and his picture is sort of like Corey Graham. He clearly looks like a stoner. And then Cody Parkey, double doink. He probably had to smoke that weed to avenge the pain afterwards. Either mental pain or pain from beer bottles thrown from the Bears fans. And my 15 minutes of research, I did say that most NFL players do smoke weed to sort of get rid of pain. So maybe Cody Parkey did that, whether that was mental or bruises from beer bottles. What a legend we are adding to the squad. So after that, I decided to let the game simulate. Madden is usually high, so I figured they would draft me some perfect players. And sure enough, they did. So looking at the depth chart, we have to start Nathan Peterman. They drafted Hack Attack in the sim, so I guess that's cool. Looking at the team, Christian Hackenberg at running back, Leonard Fournette. No interesting backups. Glenn Gronkowski, Mr. Receding Hairline at fullback. Wide receiver, so it said originally that Josh Gordon and Martavis Bryant were injured, but they could just smoke weed to avenge the pain, so they are now in the depth chart. Josh Gordon will go to number 2, and Marty B, where's the weed, will go to number 3. At tight end, we didn't draft any of them, so I decided to go with Seth McGrath because he looked like he just came out of a white van. Left tackle, Martinez Rankin. Most of the offensive linemen were auto-drafted other than Rankin and Duvernay-Tardif. They added Richie Incognito. He probably smokes a lot of weed, not just because of a bullying thing, but he went in some building with a gun, so he probably does smoke a lot of weed. William Hayes, he's smiling, which is great. Positivity is fun, but I don't know what's so exciting about getting your picture taken. He might have been high. At right end, the CPU drafted Randy Gregory, which might be so perfect. I'm convinced that man does a ton of weed. And then obviously a D-tackle, the star of the show, David Irving. Obviously he's this team's most valuable smoker. Left outside linebacker, Whitney Merciless. We have a very good linebacking core. We got him, Philip Wheeler, Tahir Whitehead, and Duke from Wake Fee. So I decided to move Tahir Whitehead to middle linebacker because, sorry, Ray Malaluga. Sorry, Joel, whatever your last name is. We don't need you. At corner, the only one I drafted was Vontae Davis, but I decided to add Corn Elder to the starting lineup because his parents literally named him Corn. Who names their kid Corn? They were clearly high, like Martinez. That could have been some cultural name, but Corn, really? Marcus Williams and Corey Graham at safety. We talked about the special teams. CPU can do the rest. So if this team does not go 6-9-1, I will be thoroughly disappointed. Or maybe 4-2-0, and then we just quit after 6 games. So at the end of the year, we go 16-0. First round bye. Nathan Peterman has 7 skill points. And he won the NFL Most Valuable Player. Nathan Peterman is your MVP. Madden finally got something right. For real NFL is high because Nathan Peterman was not the MVP. What a year that man had. 16 picks is a lot, but I mean, all you got to do is smoke weed and then you'll go 16-0. Even though your team may not be the most talented on paper, you got plenty of weed in that locker room and you are good to go. So now I think it's time to win the Super Bowl. If we can go 16-0 in the regular season, we definitely got enough weed for the playoffs, and we do it, beating the Steelers 27-11. There you go, folks. If you have an NFL team that smokes enough weed, you can win yourself a Super Bowl. But remember, kids, I said don't smoke weed, so don't do it. That'll end the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Have a great 420 day. And as always, 420 blaze it.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Loving plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination, life is your creation.
Yo, hey, man!